hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you well. Can you hear me well?
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, awesome. I want to thank you for taking the time out to come on to my show, Cosmic Q Enlightenment. So how are you?
And I appreciate you having me. Thank you for that. I'm well, sometimes I almost feel guilty that I'm doing well right now, despite everything that's happening in the world. I would like almost give some of the good things going on in my life just to have people back at peace and everybody okay again. It's crazy out there. It really is.
No, it really is. And yes, to have peace in a insane world right now is such a blessing. Like,
I think I definitely think the media has done a great job at instilling fear in everyone.
indeed.
Definitely a very fear-based environment right now.
Mhm.
But hopefully by the spring, with the warmer weather, with the vaccine, this will all be a horrible memory.
Yeah, spring is all about new growth. So indeed, I look forward to that for sure. Um, yes. So basically, I just want to tell you a little bit about my show, Cosmic Q Enlightenment. So my goal is to bring enlightenment to people about various subjects, everyday life, anything that, is such knowledgeable in the world that people, don't really know about. So I use my platform to try to help inform people about different things. Um,
It's a great idea
yeah, thank you. Thank you. And I see
because
you.
no,
Oh,
you're right though. That's really a great idea because there's so many important things out there that people may have heard of it, but don't actually know what it is. And
exactly.
I know I get really excited. Like when I went to school, I was going, majoring in business management and learning new things. It just gets you excited because you look back in hindsight and say, oh wow, that's what they were talking about when they mentioned that. And it's really good to, learning new things.
Yes,
So
indeed, indeed. And I see you use your platform to inform people about different things, and I really commend you on that because it's definitely needed. Um, it's so much, like we said, there's so many things going on in the world. We want to see positivity. We want to give people some good information and something positive to look forward to on a day-to-day basis. So using our social medias is a good way to do that.
absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I don't see any reason. It's such a beautiful thing and the way it reaches so many people so fast.
Right.
Got to be used the right way. You got to spread peace and love. I mean, this is, you know what I mean? It's what it's all about, you know?
Yeah.
Fortunately, not everyone does that, you know?
Yeah.
But
So for me, this is literally like it's like a dream come true, like sitting here talking to you because I grew up watching A Bronx Tale. And out of all my all-time favorite movies, A Bronx Tale is literally my number one favorite movie. Anybody that knows me personally knows that. So this is definitely, I really appreciate you taking out the time to speak to me. And
thank you. And thank you for, thank you for your support of the film and liking it. It's fans like yourself that have made the film what it is today, as great as it is today and how it's perceived by people.
mhm,
I think, the film is probably bigger now than it was back then.
I agree.
Got released because when it first got released, interracial relationships were more forbidden back in the early 90s. Whereas now it is what it is. It's no, you know what I
Right.
mean? It is what it is. And I think people really, really love that film because of that reason, because of the barriers that it broke during that time period, during that era. And it was, it was really well done. It was really well done. I was there. I mean, I was there.
Right.
When I was there with De Niro, and I had never been on any other set before this, so anything that goes on this set is all new to me. I
Mhm,
didn't know the way things were done, the standard way of doing things. I didn't know anything.
mhm,
I was happy to be there. De Niro was and is my idol, so
mhm.
it's like I get to work with my idol, somebody that everyone said I looked like since I was a kid, and then started impersonating. And it's like, if I would have had a dream at that time, it would have probably been to have been in a film with him in the capacity in which I was. So it was like, I loved learning and I loved seeing what what Bob did he paid attention, so much attention to detail, to every single little detail. From a tie that was crooked, he would literally cut the camera and come and straighten the tie out. You don't really see that. You don't really see that from directors. You know, I guess De Niro, because it was his first, it was his directorial debut. I know he had some of his own money invested in the film, and I think he had a real vested interest. But I think, you know, forget about for his first time around. I think that's a movie of a lifetime in the way he and Chaz Palminteri's writing, and just the whole story is really beautiful.
It really is. It's a very inspirational film. So I thought it was interesting how you got the role. So tell us about how you actually got the role as his son in the film.
Well, I was, you know, I had heard about the film. It was like open call auditions, and I heard, you know, kids from around here and all over the place. Oh, the De Niro movie. Oh, this guy went to read. This guy got a part. This guy got. So I heard all that is very distracting to me, and I didn't even bother going to like see what was going on because I figured someone had to have the part because it was talk about it. That, you know. And then I was on the beach, July 5th, 1992. There was a scout there. He found me. My brother called me out of the water, and immediately recognized that I looked just like De Niro and I could easily be his son. He was probably thinking, if this kid can act, this kid's going to get this part because he looks just like him. Even though I could act, but I did. I was able to. I went there that night to the Belmont Playhouse in the Bronx. It was a Sunday. Usually they're not open. I went. I did the shaving scene. But initially, Robert De Niro was shaving. And I come to him and I ask him as he's shaving, hey, Dad, let me ask you a question about something. You know, Joe. So that was the scene. It went really well. He wanted me to do more stuff. They had me up. They put me on VHS, on video. Sent the tape, I guess, to De Niro's office. It got there the next day. I got a call after work. I was working at a law office. I thought it was from my dad. Sounded like a really professional woman on the other end. It was someone from De Niro's office. They loved the tape. They invited me down. I went down the next day. So overwhelming. So many people there. I got a call back. I went down the next day. A little less people. The next day, a little less people. The next day, a little less people. So you get the idea. So then it got to the point when it was just me. So it's, you know, common sense that I must be doing well because, you know, eventually I met De Niro. They introduced him, or they brought me to go meet Bob, which I didn't know that was going to be him. Totally caught me by surprise. When I saw his face, I was like blown away. You know, I mean, yeah, it was a great time in my life. And then, you know, working with De Niro, working with different groups of guys to find the right chemistry for the group of friends, for the girl who I just saw last night, Terrell Hicks, who's still a friend of mine to this day. And she hasn't aged one bit. Now she still looks the same. I mean, I got a little bit of a different haircut, but no, but she looks good. She looks great. She still looks like she's a teenager. But yeah, so eventually De Niro told me to get dressed up like I'm going to church. We're gonna have a screen test where they put you on film. I went there the next day for the screen test, and then I found out that the kid who shot Sonny was also reading for my part. I was like, oh no. Something got him there for a reason. He must have been a great actor. So it's literally me versus him. I waited all Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Eventually they called me. I went in Monday and they told me I had the part. And it was like, you know, one of the best days of my life. And, you know, then we did the film, came out, big success. Then I went on to do more films and television, Renaissance Man, Crimson Tide, Sopranos, which was a, you know, great experience. Denzel Washington, Crimson Tide, Danny DeVito. You know, then I worked, you know, in Renaissance Man, Penny Marshall, rest in peace. Wahlberg, worked with some really good people, some really great actors throughout my career. I was blessed to been given a chance in this business because not everyone does. Right. You got people that aspire to be an actor for their whole lives. You know? And then, you know, I had, you know, something so great, and little by little, I'm still working hard at getting what I had back. But, you know, little did I know that these opportunities come around once in a lifetime, and I squandered it the first time around. And it's if you are given the chance, or blessed to be in this industry, really take it serious, because it
No,
could be
indeed.
tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, because even for me, I never actually thought about being a actress or anything, but like I found myself just getting, well, I actually saw a friend on Instagram on a show that I wanted to work on, which was Empire. So I was like, so how did you get on the show? And then he told me how he got on, and I sent and set up a profile, and I got casted as a background actress, which I wasn't expecting that. It was just literally just kind of happened. So I worked on them for like a year, but it's just something like you don't really think about and you just find yourself in. So
Yeah, well, I mean, excuse me, there's so many ways to get in,
mhm.
but it's still so hard. I mean, you could little by little chip away by doing extra work,
Yeah,
maybe a little line here or there. You collect vouchers, you get union eligible, then you get in the union, and then things start to happen. But it's still such a hard business, and I
yeah.
consider being in the capacity in which I'm in right now, still working, blessed, have 3 films coming out.
Oh,
One with
nice. Exciting.
Jamie Lynn Sigler from The Sopranos. I'm a abusive dad. It's a period piece. She's phenomenal in the film, and so is everyone else. It's a short film, actually, but it's going to really get a lot of attention. It's really powerful.
Mhm.
Uh, I have a film called The Fury. It's a vigilante film in which I play a member of law enforcement with my good friend Victor Rios.
Mhm.
He directed, I produced. I have a role as a member of law enforcement in it. And then also a film called Made in Mexico, where I play like a Mexican cartel guy with the accent.
Mhm.
Mario Lopez is a producer on that. So with his, what he does being on national television every day, it's going to be really good because we're going to get a lot of people. People will be well informed about the film. Let's put it this way. Everyone will know because Mario will be promoting it. And he has like such a huge platform on Extra.
Mhm.
And then where's he on? I think he's on Access Hollywood now.
Okay.
On Access Hollywood, but still huge.
Yeah, it is. Mhm.
So that's going to be good. That's going to be good for me. So I'm just blessed, and I also,
Really.
more importantly, I work in drug treatment. I am
Mhm.
director of public relations for an IOP, which is an intensive outpatient drug treatment facility in Metuchen, New Jersey.
Awesome.
And I love my job. I do one group a week. I do 2 inspirational videos a week. I do a movie a month, like a little concept, like making like a little movie a minute, like a little story, a beginning, middle, and end, having to do with addiction and how it's so destructive to all walks of life, how it doesn't discriminate.
Yeah.
You could be poor, you could be black, you could be white, you could be whatever. It's going to get you the same way. It's not, and this is what I try to showcase in these movies,
Mhm.
the 1 minute things. So I'm really blessed. I'm really blessed. I'm really happy with the turn my life has taken and where it is right now.
Mhm.
Focused. I'm so focused right now, and I just want to. It feels really good to help other people. It really does.
Yeah.
When you talk to people and they just like when they tell you like what a difference you've made in their lives. I can't see it because I'm Lilo. I'm me. I'm the kid who grew up in Yonkers. I'm a middle class kid, but like I guess my journey has been noticed by so many people, and
Mhm.
the direction in which it's heading right now, that they've noticed it in a way where it inspires them.
Mhm.
That where I came from, where I went, and where I'm going now, that it's not impossible to overcome some of the darkest things in the world. You can overcome it if you really want to. As long as you have a heartbeat and you're still alive, you
Mhm.
can overcome pretty much just about anything, except for like, cancer at the end. You can't overcome that. That's my biggest fear in life is cancer. You
Mhm.
never know when it's coming. You could be like the healthiest guy in the world
Mhm.
and smoke the cigarette in your life. And then, say you're having trouble breathing, you go get diagnosed with 4th-stage lung cancer where it's at the end. And then it's like, how did this happen? That's why it's a silent killer. I don't want to get depressing,
Mhm.
but that's my biggest fear.
I've actually heard of some stories where people recovered from stage 4 cancer, but that's on a very intensive, like detoxing diet, plant-based diet, all of free of all toxins. Like you have to really,
Right. It's very rare, right?
yeah.
When you rid yourself of the toxins, your body becomes less acidic,
Mm-hmm.
alkaline or an acidic body type.
Yeah.
The alkaline, is good, but when it's acidic, you produce cancer cells, which are cells that don't work, and they just getting more and more and more and more and more and more and more before you know it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's very rare. I know this guy Sandy Crocastos. This guy's like just doesn't want to die. He's had cancer like 5 times. He had it colon cancer stage 3. He had it in his liver. He had it in his lungs. I mean,
But he has a will to live. Indeed.
yeah, he's a strong guy. He
Mhm.
loves red meat. He loves red meat, and red meat's not good for you. The amount that it's definitely not good for you.
Yeah.
Make one steak, maybe a little once a month, a little red meat. Because I do like a steak every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a baked potato, some vegetables,
Moderation is key.
Huh?
Moderation is key with anything.
You're right. Absolutely. So, yeah, I just really feel blessed and I'm really thankful,
Yeah. And I thank you for mentioning the things that you're doing to help others in addiction, because so many people are addicted to things that they don't even know they're addicted to, and it takes over and consume their lives. And what would you recommend to people who may be fighting the addiction and don't want to receive outside help?
Well, there's different, well, when you say an addiction, it can be about, shopping, sex, gambling, food,
Emotions,
say the last one.
emotions, like people be
Right.
addicted to like toxic negative emotions.
Well, right. And this, a lot of times it's because the dopamine processing system in their brains are not up to par like they would be in someone who's not. So you have to, you always reach out to that addiction to fill that hole.
Yeah.
So my advice would be, there are different techniques. As far as addictions are based on urges. This is what makes the addiction relevant. The urges that you have and whether you give into those urges or not.
Mm-hmm.
Urges, like there's no known cure for drug addiction. There's no known cure. You're always going to get urges, whether you're in recovery, whether you're not, you're always going to get urges, okay? There's different techniques, like there's one called urge surfing. Like I surf a wave, okay? It's like instead of surfing the wave, you surf the urge. Because urges are just like waves. They start here. This is the trigger, okay? It starts to come up, it comes up. It's more intense. Now it's up here. So now it keeps riding up here, okay?
Mm-hmm.
What's going to determine how long it rides up here is how well you are able to be mindful, okay? To be able to put yourself in a situation, because there's always, to be able to put yourself in the situation, to be able to take in your surroundings and to be able to take it in and breathe it out.
Meditation.
Huh?
Meditation.
Well, there's mindful meditation. Think about this. Why would we give into these urges when they're like waves? Eventually,
It crashes down.
it crashes. It's going to go away.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? And people think trying to avoid it. No. When you avoid it, you feed into it.
Mm-hmm.
You get more power. When you feed into it, you feed into it. You don't do any of those things. You become mindful. You take it in,
Mm-hmm.
accept what it is, comes back out.
Release it. Yeah.
You see that this takes time. Obviously, over time, it will get easier.
Mm-hmm.
Anything gets easier once you see results.
Mm-hmm.
See results. If you start a new diet and you start seeing results, that diet's going to work better now. You're going to make it work better because you know it works.
Right.
But that's the same thing with urge surfing. If you do it the first time and you're not successful, that's a problem because now you're going to think it doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to think, did I do it right? but it works. It works.
Yeah, patience definitely takes well, it takes time. So you need patience to see the results. A lot of times people don't have or possess patience, so then they give up so quickly.
And then they become impulsive,
Mm-hmm.
acting on impulses, and they use bad judgment and make mistakes. And you know what? I'm not going to say I don't do that. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I do. Sometimes I say things that I shouldn't say, and I got to work on that. And that's the same thing. It's like I got to urge surf that, because sometimes it's like I say things and like I have an urge to say something when I know I shouldn't, but I say it. You know, when it comes to drugs, for now, just for today, I seem to have it under wraps. But that doesn't mean in a half hour when I get in my car and I make a turn on a street, there's not going to be something right there, maybe a street sign, or maybe just a guy standing there that looks like a guy that I used to get high with, or a guy that I used to buy crack from. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Right now I'm okay, but I don't know, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So this is something I got to learn how to do better, or maybe assume positive intent, because sometimes I assume the worst. And this all came from drug addiction. I assumed the worst because of my years using drugs. I threw my brain off kilter and it rewired in a different way. When I used cocaine for so many years, after a while, I started experiencing cocaine psychosis, where you become psychotic.
Mm-hmm.
Where people hiding in the wall, you get paranoid.
Mm-hmm.
And you think like there's people in the room want to kill you. This is what this. So now, when I'm normal and not high, some of those tendencies to not assume positive intent or to be paranoid or weary have kind of taken over some of my brain, because I did it for so long, thinking that I was in harm's way. Now it's like sometimes I think that, and I got to work on that. So I want people to know, like when I, try to give them advice and all this, I don't know everything. I'm still working on things myself.
Mm-hmm.
And they help me. They help me. You know what I mean? Because when someone says, I'm inspired by you, Lilo, it gives me more motivation to want to get better, so I can inspire them more and make more of a difference in their lives. Because if I'm coming at, like if I'm trying to give you advice, yeah, I know about the drugs and stuff like that. I can tell you what I know and what worked for me. Is it going to work for you? It may. It may not. There's no guarantee. But, that's what it is,
Yeah. And it's so many different things, like we mentioned, that people could be addicted to. For me, growing up with the trauma I experienced, I was actually addicted to pain, like literally. And I was also addicted to thinking someone was trying to harm me. So I would be in situations with friends and I'm thinking they're trying to harm me. So I would act out in a certain way. Like I would think they're setting me up, and it would make me seem like I'm going crazy. They would like, okay, what's wrong with her? I'll just leave from the environment super quick because I'm thinking someone's trying to harm me. But that literally comes from trauma, or years of trauma.
Of
That,
course.
yeah.
It manifests in different ways. It can manifest in promiscuity. You could have become promiscuous. You could have become what trauma manifests differently, but it will affect you. It will change your brain.
Yeah.
The way your brain develops, it will change it, because now your brain will be developed with the trauma that you have experienced, taken into you know what I mean, consideration. Well, not taken into consideration, but also it's going to be wired based on that trauma. It's going to maybe wired in a way where kind of like shielding you, defending you from it.
Yep.
And this is why you become so paranoid and thinking people are setting you up.
Mm-hmm.
Your brain has been made that way as a defense mechanism.
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
You understand? But that's not the way it is. You turn a lot. Not you. I'm saying I do the same thing. So what I'm saying is, like, a lot of people are turned off by that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? See this right here?
Mm-hmm.
That's because I thought my friends were going to set me up. I was in the car with them during the Subway series in 2000. Coked out of my mind, drunk, and I jumped out of the car doing 60 miles an hour because that paranoid I was, thinking these guys were going to set me up and kill me.
Mhm.
So that's serious. This is a serious thing.
Very serious.
Right. And it's like people think drug addiction only affects them right then and there. It'll affect you for years to come. I'm still being affected, even though I'm sober for 14 years. Bad choices that I made involving drugs and alcohol are still affecting me today. You know what I mean? So really think about that. Really think about, like, using drugs at a young age and thinking what a damage it can do to your body, your mind.
Mhm.
And like one day, if you do have kids, and how you're probably not going to have the ability to be the best father you could have been had you not. Because maybe there's certain things that you'll hold back from being a parent in a certain way,
Mhm.
just whatever trauma that you've caused in your own brain from all the drugs you've used.
Mhm.
It goes on and on. It's really, it's really serious. You got to really, really think before you pick up for that first time. Because if you never pick up for the first time, nothing's going to happen.
Mhm.
If you pick up for the first time, something may never happen. You got some people, they pick up and they never got high again. I didn't like it, or I wish that was me.
Mhm.
But then again, if it was, we probably wouldn't be talking to each other right now. But you know what I mean?
Yes.
So yeah, you gotta really, especially at a young age, never underestimate how important choices and decisions are. It sounds so cliche, but one little choice can put you all the way over here, and then another choice can put you all the way over there.
Mm-hmm.
Life will end up in two different, just by a choice. Just by a choice. So you have to really, really have to be careful,
Yeah, you do. And that's not to bring fear in decision making. You just have to be really decisive of what decisions you make. You have to, right.
Yeah.
But so we get the gist of what I'm saying. We don't want that to put us in fear and not being able to make decisions. So you just have to know which way you want to go, but don't be stuck in indecision. So, because a lot of times I find myself being stuck because I'm like, okay, if I make this decision, this could happen. And then if I make this decision, this could go wrong. And then you kind of just be in a void mode where you're not making any decision.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, like I said, hopefully by this, did you see what's going on in DC? It's crazy.
Yeah, my brother, my sister has been telling me what's going on. It's crazy.
Trump had to get on TV and say, please, everybody leave.
Mm-hmm.
You
But
know?
so Trump basically invited everybody to come do the protest, right?
I don't even know. I don't know if he did or not.
Well, that's what I heard. I just kind of feel like instead of allowing things to escalate, they should be prepared before it escalates. It just always seems like they take action when it happens. Like, how do you prevent it? I'm all about preventing things. So
Right, so you don't have to have all that, people getting hurt and
yeah.
happen. Right. I mean, whatever powers that be that handle that kind of security like this, you have to be stupid if you didn't know that something like this was going to happen, right?
Exactly. So it's like, why wait till it happens to actually do something about it?
I mean, I just hope everything works out for the best.
Yeah.
Nobody gets hurt, and we can move on with our lives, whatever way it is. Let's just be happy and peaceful again.
Mm-hmm.
Go to a restaurant without wearing a mask.
That without freezing outside, it's insane.
You know what though? Wearing the mask outside with this cold weather, it actually
helps. I can't say that.
keeps my face warm. I'm like, you know what? All right. I'll do it.
I was thinking about that the other day. I was literally like, okay, this is keeping my face warm, so I'm not.
Yeah.
But in the summertime, I couldn't breathe. Like, I couldn't breathe with the mask at all.
How do you feel about the mask overall?
Overall, me personally, I don't think it helps, but I think it helps people to feel more secure. That's the only way I think. I don't think it necessarily keeps the Rona, the Rona out. Like, and actually, I think it brings more. Well, your germs in your face is staining your face. And for women especially, it causes our makeup to mess up. Lipstick, you can wear lipstick. I mean, so it's little things like that that irritates me.
I think that for an under 1% fatality rate,
Mhm.
I think the masks are a bit much.
Right.
But just control everyone and tell them that they have to do this
Mhm.
for under 1%. I mean, listen, it is what it is. I don't want to see anybody get hurt,
Right.
but this is a bit much. I mean, we're human beings in the world.
Yeah.
Art, and it doesn't hurt, nowadays, especially with this, people that are healthier tend to do a little better with this coronavirus.
Hmm.
I don't even have a spleen and I beat it in 3 days because I don't drink, I don't do drugs, I eat right, I exercise daily, and I beat it.
And
So
that's the key to a healthy immunity period. And honestly, I think that's what we should be focusing on, building
right,
healthy immunities.
right. Knowledge, we know what to do, but now we have to do what we know,
Right.
right? We know what to do we know, and that is get healthier, because when you're healthier, you got a better shot. So what does that mean? Go to the gym if it's open. And then people, I want, because the gym's been closed. I don't care. I worked out every single day. My foot is destroyed on the bottom from all the running in the street. When I wear shoes, I got a limp because that's the way I'm wired. And I, every single day. Do push-ups, get a treadmill, walk in place.
Mm-hmm.
You'll make yourself healthier, and God forbid, in the event that you do get sick, there's a higher probability
Exactly, a better shot.
that you will be okay.
And that's with anything though. Like, it's so many other diseases that we didn't take this drastic extent to prevent than corona. Like, so it's just like, why corona out of all the other diseases that
I think it was just the timing. The timing was for the election. There was a lot going on.
Mm-hmm.
The common cold, the flu.
The flu.
The flu kills a lot of people also.
Yeah.
We don't wear masks during flu season. I remember 2 years ago, flu season was bad. It was real bad. People weren't wearing masks. People were dying every day just like this. But we didn't have it on TV showing every single death. And I guarantee you half of those deaths are not even from COVID. They're not even from COVID. They're from whatever else that they said it was COVID.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like one thing to help you overcome this is don't watch TV.
I don't actually. I really don't watch.
Watch something else. To this. Think about this. Say if the media, all they did was cover car accidents, right? The way they cover this corona, every single day, every network has on videos in slow motion and when you're driving in the brakes, just like all this stuff, right? Mm-hmm. You know what they'll do? That will scare people so much, they'll never want to drive again.
Yep.
Yeah, you could die in a car. Of course you can. But the chances of you not dying are greater.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing with this. So what does that mean now? Because this little amount of all the drivers that drive die, does that mean now that we all have to have protective things on our car and we have to stop driving and we have to distance ourselves on the road? It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Trolling a whole country. It's a fiasco. It's ridiculous. It's too much. If you want to wear the mask, you wear it. If you don't, that's just the way I see it.
Yeah.
Whatever happened to this being a free country? If I don't feel like I have to wear a mask, I'm not going to wear it. I may have some other underlying issue where this mask hurts me.
Mm-hmm.
I got asthma. I can't breathe sometimes as it is. Sometimes it feels like I'm breathing through those little straws that you used to drink in the milk in school.
Mm-hmm.
That's like the most air I can get. And I'm like, and now I got to put this on? Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's insane.
It's too much. It's just too much. It's more the control. I guess being in prison for all those years, I just have a problem with control and people telling me what to do. Like then I had to do it. I had to do it. this is part of my obligation to the state of New York for the bad decisions that I made and the heroic, police officer losing his life behind those bad decisions, which I think about every day. But, I mean, it just is what it is. I think we got to, slowly but surely get back to normal. Because if we have to learn how to get back to normal with this going on, because if we let this dictate how we live our lives, who the hell knows? They could be getting corona cases 2 years from now. Oh, they found 2 guys in Wyoming. So now the whole everything, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
Come on. Come
not
on.
worth it at all. Not worth it at all.
Okay,
Okay.
Because when you put yourself in a messed up situation by the choices you made, and you well aware of that these choices that you're making can wind you up and bring you to this place, and you can end up here. And then when it happens, you have no one to blame but yourself. But when you're a little baby and you're born with some kind of defect or some kind of illness, that's the saddest thing in life. Because you didn't even get started yet. And already you have this that you have to go on throughout your whole life with dealing with. You didn't ask for it. You didn't do anything wrong to warrant it. So, right? So then, but you got guys that make bad decisions, or they do this or this or this. Know that if I do this, it could possibly bring me here, and they do it, that's on you, man. Especially if it's not the first time. If it's the first time, you learn a lesson, come back from it, and the purpose has been served. You learn the lesson, and that's what God really wanted. Because sometimes we have to be in certain situations, not hear about them or learn about them. We have to actually be in the trenches in certain situations to be able to navigate through a similar situation in the future. You know what I mean? It's like that's what's called experience, wisdom. I have experience in that. So, but so the saddest thing in life is not wasted talent. It's not even close, but it's definitely a sad thing in life. I see this guy all the time, this kid Danny O'Neill, and he's a great guy. He's right from my neighborhood. And the guy's pretty much homeless, Irish kid from the neighborhood. He's a drinker, and he's out all the time. And in the summer, it's cool because he's hot out. But now it's getting cold out. I always see him bundled up. And this kid, every time I see him walking up and down the street, and I see him, we still talk. And he was on my baseball team. Okay, I was in 6th grade. He was in 7th grade. This was like the spring of 88, 89, back then. This kid used to throw the ball at that age over 70 miles an hour. Wow. With control. If you would have seen him in the outfield, the plays he used to make, he would run down any ball, make any catch. You could put him in the infield and he'd make every shortstop, first base, wherever you put this guy, he shined. And I think about him and I say, wow, this kid, he could have definitely been a pro. What I've seen him do at that young age, and he's wasted talent. He's wasted talent. I hate to say it. I love the guy. I think he's a great guy. But it hurts me to see that because that's exactly what Chaz Palminteri was talking about when he said wasted talent. He's the perfect example of that. And it hurts to see, people with that much talent just throw it away, especially for drugs and alcohol. I mean, say if you did something protecting your family and somebody did something to one of your family members and you went, I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying you went and did something to that person and now you went to jail. It's maybe not the same because now you say you got a talent to do this and now you threw it away, but you did it because someone did something to your daughter or whatever. I would think that would maybe lessen it a little bit as far as the wasting of the talent and offset it because you're there for a good reason because you didn't let anyone disrespect your family member. But when it's something like that, it's sad. It's sad,
I agree. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on my show. And I'm excited to see everything that you're doing with your films that's coming out. So I'll definitely be on the lookout for that. And this has been a great conversation. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Have a good night, okay?
You too. Bye.
See you soon.